So you've seen 360 photos and videos on Facebook and YouTube, and you may have been curious about 360 cameras, but were worried about their cost or how complicated they might be. Well, you might be interested in the Insta360 Air, a 360 camera accessory for Android smartphones. Hi, my name is Mick. I've written over 1,200 articles on 360 cameras and VR on 360rumors.com. My 360 photos have been viewed over 1 million times, and I've personally owned and used 10 different 360 cameras. I've been using a pre-production version of the Insta360 Air since January 2017, and this is my independent review. So first, here's a summary. If you have a compatible Android smartphone, and either you care about 360 videos or you're active in social media, then this is the best 360 camera for personal use today. I'll tell you why. So I broke this review down to several parts. First, I'm going to talk about its key specifications and its features. Then I'm going to show you how to use it, from shooting all the way to sharing it. Then I'll talk about its image quality as well as its strengths and weaknesses. Finally, I'll conclude about why I think this is the best 360 camera for personal use today. Let's get started. First, let's talk about its key specs and its features. Its photo resolution is 3008 by 1504. The video resolution is 2560 by 1280 at 30 FPS for most Android phones. Now, if you have a high-end phone like a Samsung S7 or a Huawei P9, the video resolution is 3008 by 1504 at 30 FPS. And as for its key features, first, there's real-time in-camera stitching. Second, there's wireless 360 live streaming. So those are the key features today. But they've also announced two new key features that are going to be very important. Number one is real-time image stabilization. Number two is optical flow stitching. We'll talk about these features later on. So I wanted to show you how to use the Insta360 Air. So first, you unlock your phone. So with your phone unlocked, you insert the Insta360 Air. So you take it out of its silicone rubber case by squeezing the sides. This makes it easier to take it out. Then you insert your Insta360 Air into your micro USB or USB Type-C port. This is going to bring up the Insta360 Air app automatically. From the shooting screen, you're going to see a 360 view, a live preview of what the camera is going to capture. And then on the bottom, you'll see three modes. There's photo, video, and live streaming. Let's check these out one at a time. So with photo, to take a photo, you just press the shutter or the volume button on your phone. Within seconds, you have a 360 stitched photo ready for you to review. For videos, the process is just as easy. So you switch to video, and to take a video, you press the shutter to start recording, or again, volume button. To stop recording, you press the shutter button and you're done. Again, within a few seconds, the video is ready for you to review. So for live streaming, I have a separate video showing how it's done. Check it out in the descriptions. So let's talk about how to share. So first, you exit your live preview. This will bring you to the home screen. On the bottom, one of the options is album. When you tap on that, it will bring up the photos and videos you've taken. Let's try sharing a photo first. So I tap on the photo I want to share. Then on the upper right corner, you'll see a share button. I tap on that. You'll see several options depending on which social media apps you've installed on your phone. In my case, I've installed Facebook, so let's tap that. You'll see two options, 360 photo or screenshot. So when they say screenshot, they mean a cropped portion of the 360 photo, like a tiny planet or rabbit hole. So let's try sharing it as a 360 photo. There's also below that a description where you can enter a description that you want. a share to, like you can control who you want to share to, like groups or public or what have you. So let's say I wanted to share to only myself for now, just to test it. And then I tap on share on the upper right corner. So within a few seconds, it will post your photo into your Facebook. So now it's asking if you want to open Facebook to check it out. So tap Facebook, and here's the photo in 360. So sharing a video is just as easy. From the Insta360 Air's home screen, tap on album, go to the video that you want to share, tap on that. Again, in the upper right corner, tap on share. And as with photos, you'll see several options depending on what apps you've installed. I'm going to share this video to YouTube. Let's tap that. And again, you'll have two options of sharing it as a 360 video or as an animation, which again is a cropped portion of the 360 video. So I tap on share, and this is going to convert the video from its raw format into the MP4 format for uploading to YouTube. So now the next thing is it will show you a dialog box where you can trim the video, trim the beginning or ending of the video. You can also add background music, or you can add filters like Instagram style filters. Below that you'll see a title and a description. So here I'll just type test, and then I tap on share on the upper right corner. This automatically uploads the video to YouTube. So it tells you that the processing has started. You have to give YouTube a few minutes to process the video. At first, you're going to see an equirectangular view, which is kind of like a stretched warp view. But don't worry about that. Within a few minutes, YouTube will automatically recognize the video as a 360 video and present it as such. So the app has other options that I haven't shown you, such as adjusting settings like exposure compensation, or applying filters like Instagram style filters or beautifying filters to make wrinkles look less apparent. You can check these options out in the Insta360 Air app. Let's talk about its image quality and its strengths and weaknesses. So the Insta360 Air is a personal 360 camera. It wasn't designed for professional use, and I'd like to look at it from that point of view. And from that perspective, the image quality is very good. Both the photos and videos are very detailed, and they look good straight out of the camera. They're sharp, the exposure is spot on, colors are bright, it looks ready to share right straight out from the camera. Now in terms of optics, there's a little bit of purple fringing, just the slightest hint of it, close to the stitch line. But for most users, this is not going to matter. And if it does bother you, you can download the free Insta360 Studio app, which has purple fringing correction that will minimize this purple fringing. In terms of flare resistance, it's among the best that I've seen. So in real world conditions, you're not going to see flare. You'll only see it in extreme conditions. Like for example, it's nighttime and you're aiming the camera, to the side of a street lamp, so you can see a little bit of flare against the dark background. But other than situations like that, you won't see flare as long as you keep your lens clean and free of scratches. So now let's talk about its other strengths besides image quality. So first, I like its usability. The Insta360 Air attaches directly to your smartphone. It saves your photos and videos directly to your smartphone's memory. So a couple things there. Number one is you don't have to worry about whether you left your memory card at home, and you don't have to worry about syncing, or do you have to remember, have you synced the photos or anything like that? No, it's right there on your phone. Secondly, you don't have to worry about whether your Insta360 Air is charged. It doesn't have its own battery. It just uses your phone's battery. So as long as you have your phone, as long as your phone's charged, the Insta360 Air will be ready to shoot. In terms of sharing, you saw how easy it was. It was super simple. You just tap on share and you have those options ready to share. You can also save the photos and videos to your gallery, where you can edit them if you want to, or send them to other apps as you please. So it's very easy to use and very convenient. And for sharing to social media, this is the easiest camera I've seen. So another strength of the Insta360 Air is its wireless 360 live streaming. So as of 2017, this is not a very common feature. Some cameras do have live streaming, but you have to connect the camera to a desktop or a computer. Now the Insta360 Air does it all wirelessly. So you could be out there in the field or like at a party or somewhere, and you can live stream in 360 to your social media. So I think that's a great feature for personal use. So a while ago I also mentioned two new features. One is real-time image stabilization, and the other is optical flow stitching. So let's talk about optical flow stitching, because that's simpler. Basically, the stitches are gonna look great. You know how the theta, when it stitches, it looks super smooth? It's gonna look like that. So we'll see when this feature is implemented. Now the other feature they announced is real-time image stabilization. What does that mean? Well, this is a huge deal, because when you're watching 360 videos, the horizon has to be level to keep the viewer comfortable. If the horizon's not level, then when they turn around, the horizon's going to look like topsy-turvy, and it can cause nausea for some viewers. Now, with the Insta360 Air's real-time image stabilization, it's going to keep the horizon level, correcting for pitch, yaw, and roll. Like when you're moving the camera around, it's going to keep the horizon level no matter how you move the camera. This is great. This is perfect for personal use. When most people are not going to have the Insta360 Air on a tripod or a monopod, they're going to be holding them, or it's going to be on a selfie stick. And if you didn't have this feature, the video is going to be a little bit hard to watch. And that's the case for almost all 360 cameras. But with the Insta360 Air, it's like having a stabilized 3-axis gimbal built right into the camera. So it's a huge deal. You don't even have to buy any equipment. It happens in real time. There's no processing involved. And a gimbal, a stabilized gimbal, costs like maybe $200 or $300 or more. And you're getting it for free with this camera. So that's one of the reasons that I think the Insta360 Air is the best 360 camera for personal use. So we've talked about the strengths. Now what about the weaknesses? Well, first of all, the photo resolution is limited to 4.5 megapixels. And while it looks great on your smartphone when you're surfing on Facebook, it shows that it's really not designed for professional use. And that's fine. It's perfectly fine. They had a very clear idea of who this 360 camera was for, and they designed it for you, for your personal use. So as far as I'm concerned, the low photo resolution is not a deal breaker. As long as it looks great on Facebook, that's good enough for me. Second, there's the issue of how the Insta360 Air is attached to the smartphone. So, like I said, it doesn't have its own memory card. It doesn't have its own battery. It uses your smartphone's memory and battery. So this can drain your phone's battery much faster. It can also drain your it can use up your phone's storage more quickly. So there are a couple ways to mitigate this. Number one, you should use Google Photos to automatically back up and delete photos that have been saved into the cloud. So Google Photos does support 360 photos natively, so you're going to see your 360 photos and they're going to look great in 360. So secondly, I would suggest having a USB battery, like one of those portable USB batteries to keep your phone charged if you're going to use the Insta360 Air a lot, or you're going to, especially video or live streaming. So that's another issue. Now the third is because the Insta360 Air is attached to a smartphone, it's kind of hard to find a housing for it that would make it good for action or sports. There's with the Insta360 Air attached to your smartphones, there's going to be a risk that if you bump it the wrong way or you fall down or something, that the Insta360 Air could snap off and maybe not just damage the camera itself, but also possibly your phone. So that's why it might not be my best choice or my top choice for action or sports. If that's your interest, you might be interested instead in the Insta360 Nano or some other 360 camera. So let's conclude. First, I talked about the key specifications and features of the Insta360 Air. Then I showed you how to use it, how easy it was to shoot with it, to review your photos and videos, and to share them to social media. Then we talked about its image quality, as well as its strengths and features, as well as its weaknesses. We recall that one of its key features was real-time image stabilization, which I think will be a killer feature for 360 cameras. So now let's talk about who this camera is for. If you're a first-time 360 camera user, this camera is one of the easiest to use. And as you saw, you can see the photo and video right away. That instant feedback is important because it's going to help you learn faster. And when you share, it will save you the frustration of worrying about things like 360 metadata, or whether you formatted it correctly. Instead, it does it all for you to the most popular social media apps. So that's why it's a great camera for first-time 360 camera users. Now, secondly, if you're active in social media, again, the Insta360 Air is a great camera to have because it shares so quickly. Number one, it stitches it automatically, and number two, it's got the options built right in for sharing to the most popular social media apps. So it allows you to share your photos and videos right away. And if you're active with social media, you know how important it is to be fast, to be timely. And this is going to allow you to share your photos and videos right away. Now third, if you are an existing 360 camera user, then you already know how important it is to have real-time image stabilization. That's a killer feature as far as I'm concerned. And that's why I think that even if you already have an existing 360 camera, the Insta360 Air would be a great camera to have for backup or for personal use. So these are the reasons that I think the Insta360 Air is the best 360 camera for personal use. If you have an Android smartphone, there's no doubt that this is the one to get for personal use. So this doesn't mean that it's a perfect 360 camera. As we saw, it has its limitations. But if you look at the Insta360 Air for what it was designed for, namely as a personal 360 camera, it is very close to ideal. It's small, it's easy to carry, it's easy to shoot with, easy to share, and it has useful features such as wireless 360 live streaming and real-time image stabilization. So these features make it the best 360 camera for personal use to date. And that's why if you have a compatible Android smartphone, the Insta360 Air is the 360 camera that I would most highly recommend for personal use. So I hope you found this video helpful. Thanks for watching.